Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first ever Procedurally Opinionated Podcast. We finally did it. We have some technical issues, not to mention a bunch of glitches, minor power outage, and a guest that wouldn't show. So that's pretty much about in keeping for what you would expect for a first broadcast. Beans Blue Drake 42 is basically a no-call, no-show. You get to stare at a picture of his creepy eyes for the next couple hours, so I hope you enjoy that.
Also my creepy eyes.
And I am IamPattyJack's creepy eyes. So these are, say hello to the other hosts of the podcast. These guys are very much every bit as involved as I am, so don't treat it like it's just my show. We have IamPattyJack, which is directly to the south of me. And we also have BigfryTV. Guys, how are we doing today?
Good.
Oh, you know, things and stuff.
I'm sorry, I can't get over how creepy that damn picture is.
I love that face.
Oh, man, that was perfect. That was a good find. I think I'm going to keep that picture. I think I'll use it in a future video or something.
Yes.
So it's been, I know it's been a psychotically busy week for me. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, there are some news topics that I know everyone's been chomping at the bit at to have us talk about, to discuss. But before we get into that, we'll do some other things first, because there's been a lot of other things going on, especially with the Steam sale and a bunch of other things going on. So what have you guys been up to for the past week?
Who are we starting with?
Whichever, just kind of jump in.
You can go ahead.
It's a discussion, man. It's not an interview.
Let's
so,
see. I expected questions to be ready to go and to be grilled. I don't work well under this type of non-pressure. Okay. What have
well, you want pressure? Who are you? Who sent you? Speak up.
Yeah, like this week, because of the Steam sales and stuff, I feel like most people are going to be playing stuff that's already been released, as opposed to like any big new releases or anything. The only thing other than the one game I really want to talk about a bit later, but we're not going to start with that because you would hate me if I did. So what I have been playing is Galactic Civilizations 3. It's been out for a while.
Oh.
Yeah.
I actually reviewed that game. I recall giving it a very mediocre score, actually, given its price tag.
And that's what I heard about it kind of across the board. Like it was just kind of okay, but I guess like a big update came out for it or something, and the reviews have kind of like skyrocketed from being mediocre to being like, okay, this is kind of all right. So
I
decided I'd finally give it a try because I love sci-fi. I love civilization style games. So it seemed like a very good candidate to check out. And I played the other one, the one before it, a little bit. So I've been going through that, and it's going okay. I wouldn't say it's like a fantastic experience. After playing Civilization 6, I think that it's got a lot more UI problems. You know, I mean, 4X games, they usually have a few problems in that regard too, where when like they're just not, there's so much information there that it's not quite intuitive enough. All like whenever using the UI, so I'm really trying. So you try to kind of like deal with that a lot. And since Civ 6 has come out and just kind of like streamlined the whole process, that's what I like more because I'm a really lazy gamer, right? If that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I think louder here. What I'll do, guys, is you don't have to do anything. I will bump up the audio for them, boost you up a little bit more. Try it again.
All right. I wonder if this is better. I hope it is. Please be better. Otherwise, I'm going to freak out and leave. I'll be a total diva.
And if I have to flip over my desk, I'll be extremely unhappy because this thing literally does weigh about 300 pounds. So it'll be very hard for me to do. And that would be extremely embarrassing just watching me just strain trying to tip it over.
All right, they're saying better noise.
Good.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. That was my fault. I was attempting to do an audio balance, and apparently, as it turns out, I'm terrible when it comes to audio. Probably why I have to be very careful when I'm even recording.
Got to do those counting checks, man. Gotta happen. So, yeah, Galactic Civilizations 3, like, it's an all right 4X experience. If you're going in there after playing, like, Civilization, I think you're going to notice it's a lot less streamlined than a game like that is, because it takes a few more cues from other 4X games like Stellaris or something, of course, though it's in like a turn-based format. But it's just like, I feel like I like Civilization more because it's streamlined, and I'm just a very, very lazy person in general. So I want everything to be like, okay, click this, and then, oh, I have to do this, so I'm going to click the same button again. It'll guide me through my entire turn, and it does that, but a lot of the stuff like to do with tutorials and having like a billion different currencies in the game, because there's so many of them, that you just kind of get lost in it after a while. Like my empire right now is doing terribly, and I have no idea why. I have no idea what the AI is doing better than me. A lot of the times they cheat in those types of games and stuff, so maybe that's what's going on. Not to say it isn't fun, but I've also only played it for like 5 hours, and I haven't even done the combat in the game yet. Dude, I want everyone to be happy, so I never start war.
Oh, so you're one of those. You're one of those peacemaker types.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Gross.
If I had known that, I'm sorry, I would have probably asked someone else to be on the podcast. I'm very much not a pacifist when it comes to games like that. I'm more combine Genghis Khan with Zod. That would be about how I am in those games.
There was one race that wanted to eat me, but then I made friends with them, so I guess they still want to eat me, but I'm too nice to do that too. So,
no, I'm horribly militaristic in those type of games. I just want to slaughter everyone and everything in my path.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's been my very, very, very boring romp in Galactic Civilizations 3, because I'm too scared to get in any fights whatsoever. Ship customization's cool. I got a lot of like military ships, they just don't get used ever.
So you one of those where peace, and if there's not peace, then I'll just hammer you into the dust, and then we'll have peace.
Of course.
I don't know, Blue Drake 42, how do you feel about 4X games?
I don't like showing up to podcasts.
I don't think he likes them. No?
Oh, good opinion. Yes, thank you for adding to that conversation.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Wonderful contribution. I'll stop being mean. He probably could have had something come up. You know, life does get in the way. It does tend to happen. I won't be too hard on him for not showing up.
Real talk. I envy people with real lives. So you know.
Hey, real life is horrible. Are you kidding? I mean, it's hot as hell today. And you know what I had to do today? Being there's blistering heat, I had to be outside doing yard work all day long.
Yeah, I went for a walk today and it was terrible. I had to go upstairs and then downstairs and then upstairs.
Oh,
so difficult. I jog 5 miles every day. Which is hard to do in this heat, let me tell you.
So video games,
yes. I think we've established that I am Ubermensch now. No. Video games. So what else have you been playing this week?
Talking to me still?
Sure.
I've dove back into Overwatch a little bit, and I'm sure no one wants to hear about Overwatch. All I'll say is it's exactly the same as it used to be. I'm exclusively doing competitive now because quick play is asinine once you get past level 100. Because
I still haven't broke level 100.
Yeah, no, you're in the sweet spot. You're good. You're fine. Because once you get into like past level 100 or that area, like quick play becomes impossible because everyone that plays it is taking a break from competitive, so they play whatever heroes they don't normally play in competitive, and that always ends up being things like Widowmaker or Torbjorn or something, and it's like all DPS all the time. So you never get proper team compositions, and no one wants to work together, so it becomes like TDM. The TDM in Overwatch is terrible. It's the worst thing ever.
It's perfectly fine. I'm one of those horrible Bastion people that everyone hates.
Hey, if it works, it works, but like I just play competitive now because there's no point in playing anything else. Even if I just want to hop on for like one game, it's like quick play is inaccessible now, and in my mind, it's kind of broken, to be honest.
Oh, what have they added to the game? Like I haven't played it in like a year because they started.
They've added new map just came out. They've added at least one new character, Orisa. She's another Omnic, like Bastion.
Yeah, she came out to kind of give people another option besides like Reinhardt because she's like her own a shield she can put down and everything.
Yeah,
so,
she has a shield. It's only 800. It's only 800 damage versus Reinhardt's 2,000.
But she can put it up quicker. And
but she's ranged, even though her bullets are slower than hell. Oh my god, trying to fight Farah with Orisa is friggin' impossible.
Yeah, like I've barely played with her because I'm like all healing all the time.
I like her.
Only play
I do.
Ana
I
and Lucy.
love her, especially going up against characters like Tracer and Lucio, because she has that secondary that sucks them to a spot and holds them there for a brief second.
Yeah.
It's like an underpowered Zarya ability.
Yeah, and you've really got to watch out as well on maps like Ilios. Yeah, Ilios, where they've got like the big pit in the center of it and everything, because now it's not just Roadhog and Lucio that can shoot you into the pit. Now it's like Orisa and like other heroes now, so it's getting kind of insane. I like Orisa. There was some info about Doomfist being in some like the files of the
there was like
game.
some leak or someone decompiled some information or got access to some information that Blizzard didn't want necessarily. So that character probably will be incoming within the next year.
Yeah, probably the next month or two, I would assume. Even they've
think
been pretty steady with those updates. They don't want to go for like more than 2 months without having a big content update, whether that be like an event or a hero or a map or something like that. So they've had the map now. It's kind of like time for the hero again. And they've been teasing Doomfist for months at this point. They've had the map in Nimbani destroyed at the starting point for God knows how long now. So it's going to happen pretty soon.
Yeah, it's interesting how they tease those out. They just go through and completely redesign a map. So, something happened here, which is, it's actually, that's the disappointing aspect of games like Overwatch to me, because there is all this backstory and history to the characters, and there's a rich storyline there, but you have to go find it. It's not readily accessible, whereas, if something had, like, say, a single-player campaign or something like that, then it would be a lot more interesting and a lot more engaging to, have that connection to the story of the characters.
Yeah, that's the thing with Overwatch, but at the same time, it's one of the rare IPs that people will like actively seek that stuff out, even if it's not presented to them. Everyone feels that big connection to their characters and everything. I mean, like, just look at all the lore and the like drawn porn of it and all that stuff, right? People like really like love those characters. So
I have no idea what you're talking about with drawn porn. I've never seen anything like that. I've never looked anything like that up. Don't mind me. I'm going to go delete my browser history now. Nothing like that has ever occurred on my computer ever.
I'm just going to say Roadhog is surprisingly popular in that regard.
Jesus Christ.
That's very odd.
Everyone's got a kink.
All right, I guess so.
Go on.
Okay, someone else go.
I've been playing GTA for like every night for like 6-7 hours after work. The RP. Have you guys ever tried that?
I played about an hour of it, and then I don't think I ever picked it up again. It was a complete waste of money for me.
Oh, fuck. No, I've been having chat. We've been streaming it every night. It's been hilarious. I play a character from Trailer Park Boys. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it.
Oh, God. That's your RP stream. I was sitting there going,
yeah.
I need to go check that out. No, I need to do a video, but I want to go check that out, but I need to do a video.
Oh, this week's been busy as hell for you, I know.
Oh, it's been a nightmare.
Yeah.
And it's not just with everything that's been going on in on the internet verse. It's work related to my day job. It has been insane. I think I've basically given up on the concept of sleep this past week. So I think I spent and then everything blew up this weekend. So again, I haven't even had a chance to get a decent night's sleep in the past week or so. I'm holding it together though. I can still do that. I may be old, but I can still do it.
Yeah, that's basically all I've been doing is GTA every day. Forever. GTA, that's my life
every
now.
Day. Yeah, oddly enough, I actually haven't had a chance to play too much. And the games that I have played, because of course we're on air and we're live, my brain is going to completely and utterly fail me, and all names of any game in existence just flew right out of my head. and that is exceptionally disappointing. So it's like, yes, games. There were some that I played. I did play some Overwatch, of course, because I love seeing people get upset, like when I take Bastion on attack on some maps, and they get all pissy with me. Take something else. You can't be attaction. And 4 golds and a victory later, as you were saying. Yeah.
I'm okay with things like that. It's just like they need to... If it's not working, it's like you just switch off it, and that's when people don't do it, and that's when it's annoying.
No, there are some times with a team comp, or if the other team has like a really good Genji, then I'll just switch off. I won't try and stick with something that's not working. I've also played a lot of Heroes of the Storm. Actually, I've really been getting into that game for some reason. I didn't think I would actually like those type of games, but somehow I've just slowly gotten addicted to it over time, to the point where I have to play it at least once every other day.
So what's the draw to HOTS instead of something like Dota or League to you?
Mainly because, well, first off, the community is not nearly as vociferously toxic as it is with League of Legends. And also, there's not as many characters, not by a long shot. So it's easier to get into for someone who's never played that style of game before, and it's not as the gameplay isn't as intricate as those others.
Yeah, like I played it a lot when it first came out. I put probably 40 hours in it. I mean, that's not a lot in regards to MOBA standards, but like to me, it was fun for a while. I actually had the opposite interaction with the community, and it might have been because I was terrible, because I'm terrible at those types of games. They don't click with me at all. But I found that, and maybe it was because it was so new, so it was attracting people from other games like League and stuff before it like made its full community. But I did find that people were a little bit unwilling to, interact positively with people.
Most of the time, I don't even have any interaction at all. It's fantastic.
No interaction,
but I am also exceptionally slightly above average, so I'm just good enough that people won't complain about my being on their team, but not good enough that we win all the time. So but no, I really enjoy it. Other than that, for me, it's basically been news story after news story after news story, and then updates on those news stories, because nobody can let anything lie for more than 2 hours ever. So it's been a huge amount of catch up, I think.
Yeah, I made an update video yesterday, and then I started rendering it, and then there was another update to it, and I'm like, okay, redoing this whole thing. Because, cease and desist letters make sense.
Right.
So, yeah, Take-Two Interactive. Wow. Didn't that... Now Rockstar ended up speaking with them, and they're in talks to have that decision with... I'm sorry, my brain is just gone right now. I think I baked it all out in the heat outside. That is unbelievable.
We'll run you through.
Let's see. There's that modding community that starts with a U that I know of, that is a thing that I did a video on, and I should remember this because I'm generally not a horrible person.
You? See, like
there's been a lot of modding community stuff going on.
Yeah, like I've heard of, what is it, Open
4. There we go.
Yeah.
It doesn't even start with a U. It starts with an O. That's how horrible of a human being I am. Yeah, so good. There was that. That happened this week. That was, let's see, when exactly did that happen? I think that was round about the weekend time. Yeah, Open 4 received a cease and desist letter from Take-Two Interactive that was apparently illegibly or painfully illiterate in how it was written, which I think is fantastic. And I guess Rockstar has managed to convince Take-Two to kind of reverse their stance when it comes to Open 4 and some of the other single-player modding, because they realized that was a really dumb idea, and it pisses a lot of people off.
I mean, it didn't help that they did that right after the Creation Club was announced, and people were already a giant uproar about it.
Yeah, people were super...
after the whole even microtransactions thing with Two Worlds 2. People were talking about that as well. Sure, there's a subset of people who are not super happy about it. So big changes like that to games, especially single-player ones, or ones with the majority of them being single-player content.
Oh my god, I completely forgot about Two Worlds 2. Let's talk about that.
So that was fun.
That was a lot of fun.
They took away the
command console.
Yes. They took away the majority of the command console, or the stuff that let you spawn items or level up your characters. And then they instituted a microtransaction system into the game, allowed you in the single player to buy items to level up your characters or improve like stamina and skills and stuff like that. And that system was in the Xbox version already, but they brought it over. And there's a big backlash to it because, of course, there was, because that's stupid. And they did redact it, though.
Well, they didn't. They did, but they didn't. I thought they left the microtransactions in there. They just re-enabled the console, the command console.
I mean, that's better.
It's better, but still, you know. And I loved their reasoning behind this. The reasoning behind adding the microtransactions to a 7-year-old game is because we like money and we want more of it. That's our reason. Nothing else.
Like, yeah, it's in the Xbox version, so why not?
So why not?
Version?
It's like, well, you know, I appreciate how honest they were being about it all. That there was, you know, they were definitely being above board with it. They weren't trying to hide. They weren't trying to come up with some sort of weird bullshit reason or something like that. Right. They just said, we want more money. I was like, I respected them for that. It's like, you know, it's still greedy, but at least it's honest greed, which you don't get a whole lot of in this industry.
I guess they were responding too, though, and because they didn't really seem to understand why people were angry at the start, and part of it's because they're like a foreign development studio, right? So I don't think they quite understood. It might have been lost in translation, but it took a while for them to really figure out that people were angry.
Oh, because we took something away and made it paid. That's why you're angry.
But I mean, who knows?
I'm confused about, you're saying they reverted it though and added the command console back in. So what's the point of the microtransactions?
There isn't any anymore.
There isn't any.
Okay.
No. If anyone can, you know, spend 5 seconds of Googling, they can find whatever command they need for those particular items. But, you know, there's a lot of people that, you know, get daunted by that sort of thing. And so I'm sure the microtransactions will still get used, especially if they start adding in content for the storefront that you don't have a command line, command line access to. That,
which is so weird because that game is like 7 years old.
Well, that's the thing. Why start investing that kind of time?
Well,
now?
It was a part of they're releasing a big, huge patch for it or some additional content.
It's like a standalone expansion thing. Call of the Tenebrae, I think it's called.
Okay, well,
and so that was coming out. It's got a different store listing on Steam and everything, but they put the marketplace in the current version of Two Worlds 2 right now, I guess, to prep it for when the new expansion comes out. Expandalone, whatever you want to call it. The whole thing was just they weren't getting money for Two Worlds 2 anymore. No one was playing it. So they figured they could get a little bit extra from the people who were diehard Two Worlds 2 fans, all 3 of them. And they decided to throw it in there because money.
Yeah, that's odd, but I mean, I guess you got to commend him for still supporting the title. But I mean, Jesus.
Yeah, that was a very interesting situation. I kind of ripped on them a bit, but you know, I do still have to appreciate their blunt honesty about it, because you know, usually, like especially with Take-Two Interactive, they were attempting to say that Open4 was involved in creating online mods when it wasn't. You know, people were making modifications, I guess, to the Open4 engine to be able to create mods for the multiplayer, but that was definitely well outside of its intended use.
I think one of the things I heard about it too, and I don't know if this is true at all, it's just what I heard, and I could see how it could happen, was that the lawyers kind of jumped the gun a little bit, maybe, and they didn't really fully understand what the modding uses were and everything. They heard like, oh, it could mess up our online business models or something. So we gotta get rid of this.
It could. I mean, that's their moneymaker when it comes to that game is the cards.
Shark cards.
Right. And anything that could potentially interrupt that business model, they will be all over instantly. Any hint of a threat to that. And they don't like the idea of the single player mods anyways, because it takes away from people playing the multiplayer. It makes people want to play the single player more. They'd rather you play the multiplayer. That way they can shove those shark cards down your throat. But it's one of those.
Have I bought shark cards?
Yeah.
No, I've barely played. I don't like GTA Online. Like I've never really invested any time into it. I played GTA for the single player, and then I just started doing this RP thing, which is a totally separate thing. But yeah, I don't know, microtransactions and stuff like no. If I'm playing online, I'd rather just earn the stuff myself instead of paying the money to. I don't know. I've never been a fan of it.
Yeah, that's I've never been a fan of any kind of microtransactions in games myself, but
I could say I wasn't, but I've spent oodles on films.
No, I refuse to buy anything when it comes to that stuff.
The thing is, though, is like with the RP community, like it's the 5M community, and they're all like kind of just sitting on eggshells because they don't know what's going to happen. Like, how far are they really going to take? Are they going to get rid of all mods? Like, I just wish there was a little bit of clarification. I know they released that statement, but that statement they put out didn't really say much. It's kind of just like, hey, we're Rockstar. We like your guys' mods, but our arms are kind of twisted from Take-Two. There's really no clarification on how far Take-Two is going to take it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what everyone is kind of more concerned about at this point. We're good for now. I think Open4 just got an update the other day, saying like, we're kind of still back in development, but nobody really knows. That's the problem.
Yeah, they're in like Open4. They're in talks with Take-Two and Rockstar, but we still don't know exactly how that's going to turn out because they're trying to figure out some way to still allow the single player mods without these modding tools being able to affect the online multiplayer component.
Right.
And I really don't think there is a way to completely differentiate between the two. Just by the very nature of the game's designs, being the fact that the online multiplayer and the single player are integrated, those tools will always have an ability to manipulate one or the other.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, because I don't know anything about the modding, but essentially you're editing files, right? And those files, they influence single player and multiplayer. Like, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to do it.
Yeah, we'll see, but they're trying to get in. Take-Two came out with a big stick, and we're the bad guy. So Rockstar is trying to play the part of the good guy and get things back on track and mollify things. But they're basically, if they want to maintain the goodwill of the community, they're going to have to allow the single player mods back. I think.
Right. No. Oh, for sure.
Do you think something like that could actually have like a big impact on the sales of the game and everything? Like,
oh, absolutely. It's with AAA companies, it's always to a lesser degree than what you see with the indie industry. With the independent developers and everything, their reputation and their ties to the community are absolutely crucial. It's less so with the AAAs, but if you piss off the consumer base enough to the point where they stop trusting you, they won't buy your game. And your game might still be profitable, but it might not be profitable enough to make the publishers happy.
Well, and what you got to remember is they got to plan this really well because they got Red Dead Redemption 2. And based on when they announced that, like I think they're really going to be pushing online play with that again.
Oh,
obviously it's a moneymaker, right? So if you start pissing people off now, I don't know if it's coming to PC yet or not, but I don't know. It could be interesting.
I believe it is. I mean, they did announce that they were delaying Red Dead 2, which was not a surprise by anyone. It's to the point where it's commonplace. These games just are never going to come out on time again, ever. Right. And, that's okay if they want to take some extra time. I would prefer at this point, considering they've had years to figure out the extended development cycles, considering modern technology, they'd be able to adjust their internal timelines to be able to compensate. But, you have publishers breathing down your necks and everything. I can understand from a certain standpoint how they how they can get pressured into an unrealistic timeline.
Right.
Is Red Dead 2 coming out for PC?
It hasn't been officially confirmed.
It hasn't been officially confirmed, but all
they'd be stupid not to
point that direction.
That. Yeah.
Well, it depends. You know, Sony or Sony. Well, I should say Sony could drive up with a giant dump truck full of money, and then say, "Here you go," and then boom, PlayStation exclusive. But if Microsoft gets their hands on it, then it'll at least be on Xbox and PC.
Right.
It'll just be through the Windows Store.
Ugh.
Which I hate. They're leaning on that so hard.
What's so bad about the Windows Store? I've never used it. I've never bought a game.
Oh, don't get me started.
It's been a long-going battle between Microsoft and the PC gaming community since the early 2000s. They've tried doing this multiple times with the Windows Live now and everything with Windows Vista.
Yep.
And
I remember Windows Live, yeah, and that was absolutely terrible. I tried to play. I think it was Second in 9. Was that a game?
I can't even remember.
It was like some third-person shooter sci-fi thing that had support for that, and it was the worst thing I'd ever seen.
Yeah, I can't even remember. But
support too, I have that, and that used that. And it was terrible.
No, what they're trying to do there is they're trying to get things locked into the Windows Store because they know full well, because of how open platform PC is, that there's no possible way they could ever get their hands wrapped around hardware exclusivity like they do with the console. So what they're doing there instead is trying to force everything into the Windows Store so they can maintain distribution exclusivity.
Right.
That way they can still dictate to the consumer a lot more than what they already do.
And like, I understand it from a business spot, but like when you look at what happened with Modern Warfare Remastered, I don't know if you guys ever heard about that on the PC platform. If you bought it on Steam, you couldn't play with people on the Windows Store version. So it's just like, like there's 6 people that bought it on the Windows Store and they're the only ones in a game.
They actually had to issue some refunds to the people that bought it on the Windows Store because they couldn't get matches.
Yep.
And so they had to issue refunds. Yeah, so and that will happen. That they're trying as hard as they can to force that distribution exclusivity. I've actually done a few videos about this, but Beans, that was forever and a day ago, which in internet terms means longer than a week.
Right.
I might have to talk about it again at some point because while it's good to see all these Xbox exclusives that will also be available on PC as opposed to just completely limited to Xbox, I loathe the idea of any form of genuine platform exclusivity.
Yeah.
Enough that I just can't stand the concept of it. I really can't. And a lot of you'll hear a lot of console gamers talk about that too. Well, what about all those indie games? Those are PC exclusive. No, they're not. There's a difference. If you put a game out on one platform, it doesn't make it an exclusive. It means they just put it out on that one platform. If they were paid to put it out on that one platform, then it's an exclusive.
But you could say, in a sense, like at that time that you're discussing it, it would be considered an exclusive to that platform. Maybe not a deal has been struck, but
to a certain extent. But with the console exclusives and everything like that, like Halo would be a perfect example of that, to where they deliberately will not allow it onto the other platforms because they consider it to be competition, and so a lot of Sony produced products are not available anywhere else.
No, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Destiny 2's coming out for PC, right?
Yes.
Well, yeah, it's on the Blizzard app, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's gonna. Battle.net.
I'm not excited about that at all.
I never played the first
Why
one.
Is that?
So I have no idea.
Because I know what an empty ghost shell of a game the first Destiny was compared to what was promised. And things that were taken out of the game after launch, and everything else under the sun involving the loot, the psychotic loot system that I could not wrap my brain around to save my life, and everything else involving that game. I have absolutely no desire to support any Destiny game at all.
Good on you. Yeah, I hated Destiny, but I always said when I played it, it should be playable on a PC. Just the way you navigated the menus, like they have that cursor that you can use on a controller joystick. It just, I don't know, it felt better Or like just I imagine it would feel better playing on a PC. So
Plus, it's just the bullet sponge mechanics. I can't stand games that just decide, well, we'll make something tougher by making you have to shoot it more.
Right. But I've had this conversation too. What do you think about Borderlands then?
I actually never played it.
I hate Borderlands with a passion.
Well, I'm gonna jump out of here real quick.
For that specific reason that I hate bullet spongy games.
Really?
I enjoy playing the first one like when I was younger, like just with my friends and stuff. It's fun for co-op. But if you sit down by yourself, at least me, and play that game, I just get so bored because I feel like everything is super spongy, and it doesn't have enough like epic moments for me. I feel like I'm going through the motions, kind of like an MMO.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
which is super hypocritical because I play ESO, so
right.
Yeah,
I recognize that. But
we've actually got chat asking what my stance is on Anthem. Anthem is BioWare's Destiny.
Facts.
That's all it is. It's just BioWare's version of Destiny.
I hated the combat and the level design in Mass Effect Andromeda, and if it's anything like that, then I'm
you can
done.
see a lot of similar UI elements. They definitely borrowed heavily from that game, although it does look like all of I can tell automatically where all their facial animators ended up. It looks like they got all their facial animators drunk and high, but that's where they ended up. Because that one guy's face in the trailer or in the reveal, wow. That was there are so many memes done about that guy.
What I will say though is like comparing Mass Effect Andromeda to what I saw before they released that, and then seeing this, I'm way more excited for this. And this, I think this is the original team that did like Mass Effect, like the good Mass Effects, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then
that's nice.
Yeah, so I have more faith in it, but if it ends up exactly like Andromeda, I'm going to be super choked.
Yeah, I'm not writing it off. It's just that with BioWare, because I played like most of BioWare's games ever since I was a kid, and I've just seen this, like, in my opinion, this downward slope they've been going through. And with Andromeda, it just became... It started with Dragon Age Inquisition, and it's carried over into Andromeda now, where it's so open world, and they want to create that, but they've sacrificed level design and stuff like that. And if you go back and play Mass Effect 2 or something like that, the level design helped make that game a lot more enjoyable, because that game was a corridor shooter with hub areas. That's what the entire game was. But then they turned it into like a giant open world place, and all the AI just kind of like haphazardly takes cover instead of like having an area in a room specifically designed to have a firefight in. It's just like, okay, here's some crates and here's a small building. It's like every other small building.
Right.
Yeah, it's I think the combat aspect there, I think it interested me for about an hour, and then I was over it.
I got sick of the game about 40 hours in, because I got to the missions where it was like side quests where they would send you to different planets and stuff, and this was before the update where they fixed all the like screens in between going to different areas.
The 24-second transition between every single one that I suffered through all 64 hours of my playtime of the game in 1 week. I have no idea what you're talking about. No. Well, I don't really get affected by stuff like that too much. I never have, but it was just so boring.
Yeah, and it's sad because I didn't hate the storyline. The storyline wasn't the greatest. I wouldn't say most of BioWare's storylines are like the greatest, but it couldn't keep me. I just got so bored.
It's a lot of people are looking through. I've always said that a lot of people are looking through the Mass Effect trilogy storyline with kind of rose-tinted glasses a little bit in some aspects. They have to remember, if you go back and you look at Mass Effect 1, the actual character interactions and story arcs were very, very trope-heavy, I guess you could say.
All BioWare's games are.
So, but there was that kernel of something more there in the overarching story, the top level plot line versus the day-to-day interactions. To me, with Andromeda, it just didn't have that overarching hook like the first trilogy did. And the interactions aren't too different. I mean, you could tell these were very different writers, and these people were definitely nowhere near as gifted as the originals. But it just didn't have it. And I don't think it ever will. Plus, there were so many plot holes that just you could drive a semi-truck through them.
It kind of needed a more coherent writing team, I think. It felt like a very boardroom meeting style game. Like, you got to have this, and this, because you do.
Well, a lot of that, too, probably came from the 18-month true development cycle they actually had. I mean, they burned through most of those years trying to make procedural generation work, and they couldn't do it.
Go figure. Developers.
Right.
They don't want that anymore.
Yeah. And look at Star Citizen and its procedural generation that they've been slowly making work. Of course, that's basically the only way that anyone will ever get procedural generation work is to see one company burn all their time and money to get it almost to the finish line, and then somebody else will come along and finish it off.
I feel like Beyond Good and Evil 2 is going to hit that point as well.
Probably.
People might hate me for saying that, but...
I never played the first one, but it's crazy seeing the hype for this one. Like, I have no idea what to even expect.
People never really talked about it when I was younger either.
Right.
Like, I kind of knew it existed, but that was it. I had no idea there was a big fan base for it.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, it kind of caught me off guard. Like, when they announced it, I wasn't watching the conference, and then I see, like, it's just exploding everywhere I look. I'm like, when was this ever a thing?
I'm fine with that. I'm totally good with people enjoying that series and everything.
Oh, yeah.
I have no experience with it. So
I feel like I missed something epic, but like I just never had the chance to play it.
Did you see the tech demo they did?
No, I don't think so.
So they did this tech demo with, I guess, the lead creator guy on it or whatever, and he was just kind of like showing off some of the stuff that they're doing, and it seems that they're being super ambitious with it. They're creating like this giant world that you can seamlessly fly to any point in it and stuff.
Oh,
the scale and everything is huge. Like, the ship that you pilot is like 400 meters long, and then it can like pump out like another ship that you also fly in, but then you can like walk all inside it and stuff. Then you can go down to the city on the planet, and then everything's big, or you can fly up into space. And it's just like it. I don't know if there's generation there might be, but it seems so ambitious.
By the time it comes out, all of those features will be stripped out of it. Absolutely.
Yeah, pretty much.
And because they're starting from ground zero on it too. It's not even a full working game. They have like a couple models and stuff, and they're kind of starting to make the basis of what it is and everything, but they haven't even named their characters or anything. So it's who knows what'll happen to it. You might not see it for 6 years.
If that, I'm not gonna with a lot of aspects like that where the framework isn't even 100% yet. I never keep my hopes up or hold my breath that it'll ever come out ever. I mean, look what happened with Mass Effect Andromeda. They wasted years trying to get their tool set put together to be able to make the game, when they should have just abandoned things like procedural generation very early on.
Right.
Because they finally abandoned procedural generation, I think, like after year 2, and then they decided to go with 30 handcrafted planets, and then they lowered that from 30 to 7 because of the very short time frame they had left. Whereas
I felt even the quality on the planets was kind of up and down as well.
Yeah.
The Eos, was it? The big desert planet? That one, like, the first part of that planet, the first big area you explore at the start of the game was fine. When you go back to it the second time, there's another big open area. And I remember this was the time when I gave up with Andromeda kind of officially. I went back to it, and I saw this big open area that I could go and explore and everything, but it was populated completely with like 25 different weird sci-fi wind turbines. They were all exactly the same model, and they were just lined up in this big area with like 2 enemies at them. And I was like, I'm not doing this.
Yep.
It's not content. That's stuff.
It's like, here, just there's an area. That's basically all it was.
All the enemies there too were like those.
All of them were the
animals.
exact same.
Yeah, the same aliens on all the planets. And at that point, when I was playing the game too, they were bugged out, so they'd never attack me. They just kind of stand there in a T-pose. It was.
Yeah, I couldn't stand that. There was no differentiation in any. Of course, there's never been a whole lot of differentiation in enemy types in the Mass Effect games, aside from main characters. But they still had more in other titles than they ever had in this one, by far and away. But yeah, we could probably just bitch about Andromeda for hours. I
forgot about that game. Let's move on.
Let's see. Wow, somebody thought I was black all along.
Dude, I don't know how many times I've heard that. You know what I mean? It's weird. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't get it. All right. Sure. No, obviously not black. So that's apparently not a thing. So sorry to dash your dreams there or something.
I hope their dreams were dash. I hope their opinion hasn't changed at all.
Yes, I hope your opinion doesn't lessen in regards to my not being the color of skin that you thought or hoped that I was. I should probably stop, otherwise I'm going to just dig myself a hole there. Your life has been a lie. I'm sorry. Oh, man. Anyone play the South Park game?
The last one?
The last one? Are they talking about Stick of Truth?
Was there a mobile game that was announced or some shit? Did that come out yet? Is that what they're
the
referencing?
card game.
I have no idea. I didn't even see it.
I think that's out or something. Maybe only in certain regions, if I recall. I could be wrong. I haven't looked into it at all.
If it's a card game, then no. I typically don't have interesting card games. I started playing Hearthstone a little bit, and I got bored with it in 15 minutes.
Hearthstone.
So it's like, well, this is basically Blizzard's version of Magic. Okay.
It's baby's first Magic is what it is, and I say that as someone who played 1,000 hours. I went back to the last expansion, and it was just kind of. It felt so deck heavy that I couldn't do any fun things. If you're not running X deck, even in casual mode, where everyone else is, you're just at a disadvantage. It's
Well, it's one of those things too where I'm picking it up. I tried picking it up so late that everyone else already has the best decks, basically. Right. And I would have to dump a phenomenal amount of money to be able to catch up, and that's just no fun. And that's the difficulty with a lot of those type of games where there is a pay to play mechanic. It becomes very much pay to win very quickly.
A couple games have been trying to kind of alleviate that a little bit. Things like Elder Scrolls Legends and stuff, having like more single player content and campaigns and scenarios and everything.
Oh, really?
It's gonna do it at your own pace and stuff. I've only played a little bit of Legends, but that's starting to do it. And I think there's a couple other ones. Shardbound, which isn't a total TCG, it's more like a turn-based game with card mechanics in it. But that one seems to want to put in a lot of single-player stuff. I think it's mostly PvP because they're still in like early beta.
Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of stuff they're focusing on is Twitch-based as well, being able to connect with streamers and stuff. That's actually a fun game. I actually enjoy it.
Yeah, it's very well made. If the one thing is all the placeholders in there right now, I have no idea what
right.
what because they're all the same.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so confusing. Someone says thoughts on Assassin's Creed Origins.
Microtransactions.
Ghost Recon Origins.
There you go. $800 game
statue,
package.
Right?
It comes with a bunch of things, including the statue. The sad thing is that $800 package. I'm sorry, I've been meaning to do about a video about this, but it's one of those things that I got caught up in everything else and the more important stories. But yeah, an $800 game package that comes with a wide variety of physical memorabilia. It doesn't even come with everything.
What?
It doesn't even come with everything they offer. It's not the complete set. It's just this giant, massive set of stuff. But there's still more that you have to buy. I can't even remember everything that's included with it. I'm going to go look it up.
Because wasn't it them that they released like different pre-order packages for the movie? Isn't that something they did?
Yeah, they did.
Like Jesus,
$100.
Other than that, I don't plan on playing it. I haven't played an Assassin's Creed game since 2. They're not awful, but I wouldn't buy them every year like a lot of people did.
I'm in the same boat as you. I haven't played since 2. I was kind of anxious. They took a year off, right? I was like, okay, this has got to be good. They're coming back. They took a break. It literally looks like they just took Ghost Recon Wildlands, made the bird the drone instead. Yeah. Like I was like, wow.
Yeah, throwing a little bit of Far Cry in there just for good measure. And
It looks like they've improved the combat a little bit and stuff, but unless I got a code for it, I wouldn't pick it up because I know I wouldn't be playing it for the amount of money that I paid for it.
Yeah, yes, this includes the season pass. The $800 package comes with a 28.7-inch Bayek statue, certificate of authenticity, 4 lithographs, a steelbook, map and art cards, official soundtrack, steelbook gold edition. So you get the Steelbook and the Steelbook Gold Edition for some reason.
Sick.
Pre-order mission.
What?
Pre-order mission.
Nice. Content locking. Love it.
Naval mission. Desert Cobra Pack.
Like about Assassin's Creed, the naval stuff.
Art book and premium Eagle Skull Amulet.
Oh, fuck yeah. What a joke, man.
Awesome.
And that's apparently not even everything. There's more stuff that you have to get that I can't even find. It'll take me a while to find what's missing there, but apparently to buy everything would cost you right around $1,000.
Holy fuck.
I have that money.
Yeah, I'm going to buy a new GPU for my PC. Or an Assassin's Creed statue. Yeah.
And, of course, they're pre-order locking content.
Mm-hmm.
Which is one of the worst things ever.
Yeah, we can get mad about it. And, Chaz is like, what the fuck? But, at this point, it should be expected. Which is just sad.
Yeah, just like with the new loot system and the randomized item drops, you can bet your ass they're going to be microtransactions all over that game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They built it specifically for making money, it looks like at this point.
Mm-hmm. Just like everything else. Because they've been slowly steering this way for a long time. Like you can see some of those games that did not come with a season pass, that they're going to do other things to squeeze extra money out of people because, especially with the AAA industry, they are going very heavily towards this idea as... They're taking a page out of Microsoft's and Adobe's book, and they're going software as a service or games as a service for long-term development and pay cycles and income cycles to go with video games. So constant, regularly released content and everything like that people can buy, and eventually they'll come out with full single-player AAA titles that will be a monthly access fee. I can easily see it going that way eventually.
Everything's a sports game now.
Yeah, and then you're going to have the people that are, well, MMOs used to do it, so why can't these companies
MMOs have terrible business models too for consumers.
Yeah, absolutely. They're the worst ever when it comes to, because MMOs, the only reason why MMOs are successful is because of the sunk cost fallacy.
Yeah.
That's why I keep paying every month for ESO Premium.
Oh.
Hey, I get 4 crown crates for that, man. 4.
Hey, I played Star Wars: The Old Republic for about 6 to 8 months, I think, before I gave up, and I did pay for that. Actually, I think I might still be paying for that. I'll have to go check. I think it's been over a year, and there's a very strong possibility that I may actually still be paying for it. I don't know.
I played WoW for 4 years.
I'd be embarrassed if I was.
Yeah.
I never got into WoW. When I was a kid, I lived in between towns, so we only had dial-up internet, so I just played RuneScape.
Yeah, and see, the way I justified it was just like, if I get enough hours out of a month to kind of warrant the $15 price, I'm okay with it. And then the expansions came, and then the money, and then the just consistent. And then after a while, I just realized, like, what the fuck? What am I doing with my life?
Oh man, so bad. Yeah, those MMOs are they're dangerous. They are.
Oh yeah.
Because there's actually, they're not fun. They're really not. I mean, it's fun to interact.
Like a job.
It's fun to interact with the people.
Right. Yep.
That's it. I mean, I avoided Overwatch for a long time. I avoided it like the plague. I refused to buy it. I refused to review it because, you know, I was dead set. Like, I'm not going to enjoy this unless I have people to play with. Well, I ended up getting a large group of people that I could play with, and then I love the game. I will play it by myself now. So I was stupid like that. But, but, you know, it's very much the same aspect there, where a lot of the fun will be derived not from the game you're playing, but in who you're playing it with.
You're making me wonder why I play ESO now, because I don't interact with people in ESO ever.
I don't know why you play it at all. You shouldn't. It makes you a horrible person.
I played the game at launch. I thought it was terrible.
I played it in the closed beta. It was horrendously bad.
It's a lot. I will say it's better now. I'm not going to say it's good.
Justify that subscription. Go.
You can go to, no matter what faction you play out of the three, and no matter what level you are, levels don't really matter anymore. You can go to any part of the game you want and do any of the quests there, so it opens up a lot more.
You hear that, ladies and gentlemen? Levels don't matter. That means that you can get sucked into these mediocre plot lines that you have to keep paying for to be able to access.
Woo!
All the one-time fee, you get all the vanilla stuff, and then the DLC, you get access to all the DLC
free.
except the Morrowind one, because the Morrowind one sucks and you don't want it anyways.
Pay them more money.
Whoa,
Okay.
whoa, you gave a very different statement on your videos. I actually watched those. You did say that you enjoyed them, that it was fun.
I said I liked the content in
You did
Morrowind,
say
but
that it wasn't
$1.
worth the money, but you
It
did
ain't
say
worth
that
the
it was
money.
fun.
It's good content, not worth the money.
One of these things is not like the other, methinks.
So I spent all my money on a house in that game the other day. 300.
See,
now
he's got to now he's got to spend $5 for 300 gil or doubloons or gold or whatever form of monetary compensation they use in that realm. So you can actually decorate that house.
Yeah, no, I've decorated my house all with in-game money. It's getting there slowly. Everything is like 3,000 gold a piece, but you know, but it's. I basically bought my own. Like, it's like work, like a lot of MMOs, right?
Yes,
but it's rewarding like work as well. So you're like, oh, I just bought a house. It's bigger than my other house. Now I got to buy the next house.
See, now that I know I have to craft all these furnishings that, I have to go harvest all this material to be able to do the crafting with. Oh, but this material isn't a high enough quality, so I have to go over here to harvest some more. Oh, but that material is gone, so I have to go buy it from another player. So I have to go to the store now, and I don't have enough money, so I'm going to have to purchase some in-game currency.
I don't have a real life, so I might live an online life.
And now you are part of the machine.
Right.
Proudly.
He's in.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I don't play MMOs.
I don't recommend it. It's terrible.
Oh my God! Yes, I did hear about that. Sorry, I have to just completely derail things again. Commenter asked if I'd heard about the nauseous rift.
Yeah, that's a real thing, right?
What?
The nauseous rift. Yeah.
Have you heard of that?
Gadget you can buy with Fractured But Whole. It simulates the fart smells you have in the game.
They had those at like a con, I think.
Yeah, they did.
A year ago or something. That's great. I love it.
Oh, that's that. I love Trey Parker and Matt Stone. I really do. They are some of the most hilarious people on the planet to me. And the fact that even something associated with them would come up with a device to make you smell fart while you're playing one of their games is just hilariously classic. And I would buy it just for the sheer ridiculousness of it. I admit it, I would.
Just make like an entire display saying, "I purchased this." Out of everything consumers want me to, of everything the consumer could get.
Yeah, it will go on a pedestal in my room, in a glass climate controlled.
Can't let any of it escape. You gotta keep all the fart smell inside it.
Yep.
You can have like a little area where you can put your face in there like once a month. Breathe it in.
Review the Nautilus Rift.
Is it actually going to come like bundled, or is it a real thing?
I heard. I think I recall Jesse Cox talking about it at a con, that it was an actual thing. Nautilus Rift.
It's on Ubisoft.com. Like when you Google it.
NautilusRift.ubisoft.com.
What happens if I pay $800 for South Park?
Like, I don't know if it's a joke or not.
Then you need to rethink your life choices.
Okay, what's worse, if I did that or Assassin's Creed?
Assassin's Creed would definitely be worse.
Okay.
Because Trey Parker and Matt Stone are at least entertaining. To me, in my mind, there's nothing of any redeeming value in Assassin's Creed games anymore. It's all just the same thing. And every mechanic they showed off there were borrowed from other games. It's all very iterative. There's nothing innovative about it. I'm sorry, I'm looking at this presentation on the website for the Nautilus Rift. Virtual reality taken to the next level, and it stops, and it just keeps getting closer and closer to you.
Well, then you scroll down, and it has a bunch of people in a crowd wearing them.
Oh my god! If this is a troll, it is one of the best trolls of all time. That's right up there with Nvidia's April Fool's joke about the.
Oh, that was so good.
Oh, what was that called?
I'm gonna Google it.
Yeah,
it looked like a little graphics card, USB, right?
Yeah, it looked like it.
Oh yeah,
yeah, the GTX G Assist. That's what it was. And it looked like a mini, either a 1070 or a 1080 that you just plugged into a USB port. It learns your play style, so you can just get up and walk away, and the game will keep playing itself.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Sad part is I can see that as a mechanic in any game nowadays.
Right. You got to pay for it.
Well, it's already in consoles. It's called Aim Assist.
True.
Little dig there. We'll watch a few people get extremely angry. It's perfectly fine. It's all fine. We're all fine here. So, yeah. Wow, we got majorly off topic there.
I don't know what the original topic was at this point.
I think the original topic was... Let's see. I think the original topic was Take-Two Interactive and Two Worlds 2.
I mean, we gave Two Worlds 2 exactly enough attention as it deserved. So.
Which is absolute as minimum as possible. Which I'm perfectly fine with. I suppose we've had a lot of people here chomping at the bit. We probably should dive into the most recent news that I've been bleeding my eyes out over for the past few days. So what do you think, Chad? Do you think we should talk about that? I'm not going to wait for 30 seconds for your response. We're just going to go ahead and go. So, yeah. So, for those of you that are not aware, if by some miracle you haven't seen Twitter or Facebook or any news outlet anywhere, it seems like recently, there is a musical director. She is a musician for Indigo. I don't even know how to pronounce the name of their company. Imago Softworks. Those guys, the Star Mazer DSP developers, we'll just call them that, because I'm so horrible with names. And apparently there's some sort of financial conflict, and so the musician has taken it upon herself she's decided that because they haven't paid her what she thinks she should be paid, that she owns the copyright to her content that she created while she was working for them, and she started DMCAing a large number of YouTubers and Twitch streamers. A few Twitch streamers received 24-hour bans. I hadn't heard of anyone actually being permanently banned, but there were also a few YouTubers that did receive multiple strikes, 2 strikes. I don't think anyone actually has had their channel closed out yet, but it's been a huge, huge thing over the course of the weekend, and this person's insanity continues to mount. She actually released a cease and desist to Turner Broadcasting, of all places.
That Turner Broadcasting.
Yes, that Turner Broadcasting. It's not some other. No, it is that Turner Broadcasting. CNN, Cartoon Network, Adult Swim. Yeah, they're the parent company of those. That's who she just picked a fight with. In addition to that, she's basically pissed off a large portion of the gaming community on YouTube and Twitch for this as well. So I can easily foresee this multi-layered war that she's fighting on multiple fronts now not ending well at all for her.
I think it's glorious, to be honest with you. Like, I feel bad for the YouTubers. Do you know which one actually got the double strike? Was it Lord Squirrel?
Lord Croco Squirrel, I believe, got one.
Got one?
Croc, you're actually in chat here. Speak up if you got more than one. I'm pretty sure it was just one. I only saw one. There was a Temi Nico, who's a smaller YouTuber. She has about 1,000 subscribers. She did get hit with 2.
Right.
Lord Crocoscroll's in the chat, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. He is actually a friend of mine. He's a good YouTuber. He's another one of those people that dives into the doldrums of the indie gaming scene. So if you haven't checked out his channel yet, please do. He's worthwhile. I like him a lot. I do. We'll probably have him on the show at some point in time. But yeah, so Temi Nico at least, and I believe there was one other. Let's see, Patty, you were speaking with Sir Tim Tap. Sir Tap Tap. Sorry. Do you know if he received multiple DMCAs or if it was just one?
I don't think he did. I could be totally wrong. When I was talking to him, it was mostly getting information about the other DMCAs that were issued for Duck Game and Death Road to Canada. Don't be touching games about Canada, Alex.
Right? Yeah, what's that about?
Just saying. 2/3 of us take offense to that.
Right.
I mean, I may not be Canadian, but I'm Canada adjacent.
You're close enough.
This is true.
I'm literally a half hour away from the Canadian border, so
nice.
We regard where you live a lot better than like Quebec. So
I'm like the dirty third cousin that everyone invites to the family picnics, even though they really don't want them there. That's how Canada treats us. So
Squirrel said he only got one, but that's likely to change, he says. So that's what sucks. Like they're taking hits, they're definitely taking risks, and like I said in my video, I urged them to fight back. But if she comes on and wants to take on Turner Broadcast, like this is going to set such a huge precedent. Like if you're going to file a DMCA and abuse it, and then cease and desist, like I don't know, I think she's in a lot of trouble.
And she can be. The thing you have to remember, though, is someone actually has to go after her for this. Because if they don't, this is all talk. This is all just bluster and frustration and anger. Someone actually has to go after her for this. And so their DMCAs have to be overturned first. So they do have to file a counterclaim, which everyone under the sun, including Leonard French, who is a copyright attorney,
right,
Jim Sterling, Total Biscuit, myself, Big Fry, IamPattyJack, listen to us, okay? If you have been hit by one of these, file a counterclaim. For the love of God, file a counterclaim. It is not valid what she's doing.
Let us know, too, because we want to, make it known that that's happened to you, and we want to help you.
Right.
Like, genuinely, because I think I think everyone here has been hit with something in the past.
Oh, yeah.
I got hit with 2 DMCAs in less than a month. Both of those I was able to combat successfully. So I know a few people were asking about that in chat earlier. I currently have no DMCAs on my channel. But
I was hit with a DMCA from LucasArts back in the day.
How the hell did you get hit by LucasArts?
So
did you play the Star Wars theme song?
No. Nothing. No, that would be Lucasfilm. If they
Oh.
didn't know
Oh,
what
that's right.
happened was about 2 months before LucasArts went out of business officially, they took down my video where I was talking about a leak for Star Wars Battlefront 3. Didn't show any of the footage of it or anything like that. I had Battlefront 2 footage playing in it and everything, and they ended up taking the whole video down. And I didn't know at that point anything about it because this was like 4 or 5 years ago. So I just let the whole thing run through. And I can tell you from experience from that, it's annoying as hell if you have a strike on your channel and you have to let it go all the way through for like the 2-month period, or I think it was maybe 6 months for mine even, because it limits the stuff you can do on it. It sucks.
Yeah. And also, you know, a lot of people are going off saying this will change the face of what happens with DMCA. It will set a precedent that we'll be able to use anywhere. It actually won't. Here's the thing. Legal areas, they're basically broken up into zones or districts. And so if you go after her, if you sue her and are successful, or if you know, basically, if you're successful in going after her, in filing a legal prosecution for perjury or anything like that, it will set a precedent for the district that she is in. That's it.
So when you say district, what are you referring to?
Leonard French would be able to get into that a lot better. I think they are in District 9 or something like that.
Oh, shit. Aliens and shit.
Yeah. Yeah. As I recall him mentioning that. So basically, it would become, because it's not a federal level case, it would basically only set a precedent in that area. Basically, it could be trotted out to cite an example, which would definitely help other judges. But I'm not, you know, the actual overarching relevance for when it comes to federal law and international law, it's not. This case would not be as far-reaching as a lot of people might hope. So don't get your hopes up that this will change the game, as it were. But this is one of those few examples where, because people have always not gone after those that filed DMCAs for a variety of reasons. One is because a lot of YouTubers and Twitch streamers by nature have an innate desire to please. As you know, as presenters, as comedians, as entertainers, as someone who presents something to the general public, they generally want to do what will make someone happy. And so, you know, they try and just like, well, I'll just let it go. You know, it's fine. And then other people that may want to go after it, usually the DMCA filers, are in another country. So then you're dealing with international law, and an international lawsuit is prohibitively expensive, and most people don't have that sort of income. And then also, there's the lack of having the personal information of the person who filed the DMCA, because sometimes YouTube won't even bother to give you that.
Right.
But this time, we know who she is, we know where she is, and she's in the U.S.
Yay.
So it would be relatively simple, or comparatively speaking to most other cases that I've seen. So, yeah, and by all means, I know Lord Crocoschool, he said in chat here that he's reached out to Leonard French, and he's very interested in pursuing this, especially considering Leonard French is licensed with a bar in the state that they both live in.
Did you guys end up seeing his live stream? I haven't seen the whole thing yet.
I did. I was there for that. And
okay.
Yesterday, we actually recorded for a couple hours that should be getting uploaded here sometime soon on his channel as well, discussing that, because we were actually going over the contract and everything. So, yeah, this has been a giant nightmare of a mess that has continued to evolve almost hourly. And, you know, Jim Sterling and Total Biscuit have jumped on board. Total Biscuit, to his credit, is attempting to see what he can do to help expedite these DMCA removals by reaching out to YouTube Gaming. We'll see how successful that is, because even though he is a massive channel, YouTube is notoriously uncommunicative when it comes to situations like these. The reason being is because they don't want to get involved because it could upset their safe harbor.
YouTube being uncommunicative. Who would have guessed, huh?
Yeah. So, I don't know. What does everyone else think about all of that?
I mean, I just want to know how far off the deep end do you have to go to go from a dispute to now you're taking on Turner Broadcast? Like that's crazy.
I don't get it. She's just decided I'm just going to just burn my entire life to the ground.
Right.
Because, this isn't a small YouTuber. This isn't even a large YouTuber that she's going after there. This is a multi-billion-dollar corporation that she will be taking on herself.
Yeah.
How does she think she's going to win against that?
I think Waffle they sound like a spoiled brat. I really think that there's obviously no sense of actual reality of the situation and the consequences that could potentially be brought to you.
I don't understand. I'm all for someone trying to take on the big megacorps when they know they are right.
Right.
But if you just think you are right, but you haven't discussed this with a professional or with an expert on that sort of thing, then I wouldn't even try it, because they will bury you. They will bury you in a sea of lawyers, and they will tie things up in court and bleed you dry until you can't pursue it any longer.
Right. And Renab just brought up the fact she's selling the music on Bandcamp now. When you decide who owns the rights to that music, Star Mazer or her, if she's now selling it and they own it, is that another potential avenue for a lawsuit?
Oh, absolutely.
Right. Just not even double down. This is triple, quadrupling down on your mistake.
It's so bad.
It sounded like a mental breakdown to me or something.
It would have to be.
And on top of it, she was there like a Sir Tap Tap. I'm sorry, Sir Tap Tap. I'm so sorry. She was sending him and Taminoko. She was forwarding them all of her email interactions that she was having with everyone else. Who does that?
Well, she wants them to help, right? That's her whole point on this.
She issued DMCAs on their channel. They're not going to help her.
Right. Oh, I know.
But I mean, YouTube isn't a real job or a realistic one, so...
Right, but I need you YouTubers to help me. Yeah, honestly, it has to be mental. It has to be. And if it is, that's super unfortunate. You don't want to be a complete asshole about the situation, but what do you say? She's threatening the industry that we all,
Absolutely.
that we all work in.
And this is something, anyone who's followed my channel for a while, even since the first of the year, this is something that I will combat tooth and nail with every fiber of my being, because it's in every aspect, in every way possible, it is wrong by every definition of the word. And it's horrible. And, this is, a lot of these people, they're smaller channels. This isn't their livelihood, but it could be.
Right.
You don't know. Taminoko could be the next PewDiePie, for all you know.
Right. Well, you're taking 2 strikes. Yeah, now you're essentially just stunting growth at this point, because I don't know how the rules work. When I got striked, I wasn't able to upload anything over 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. So podcast, you had to keep it. So it's such a limiting thing, especially when you're talking about ad revenue now.
Yep. YouTube live streaming gets disabled. You still have a 10-minute limit upload on your videos. Yeah. And basically, if you have 2 strikes on your account and somebody decides to get a wild hair and go after you, they can just shut your channel down.
In regards to that too, and I know this is just off the top of my head, and it's something that I've thought about with my channel and stuff. If that were to ever happen to me, it's good to always have a backup for that, not just say, oh, I need to have a backup plan. It's back up your videos, put them somewhere else, I upload all my videos to VidMe as well, because obviously a bit of extra exposure and stuff. And while you might, maybe I'm not really some of the things that go on VidMe I'm not a big fan of, but at least I have
Yeah.
somewhere else to put my videos where I can download them and save them if my YouTube channel implodes, because at this point, that's entirely possible. That could happen.
Oh yeah.
It's realistic.
Absolutely. And I retain every video I've ever uploaded to YouTube
Same here.
on storage devices. So I do have RAID protected storage that I maintain all of my content on. So if that were to happen, I still have everything here that I can access, if I need to forward that information on to, say, an attorney or something like that. And that is something that everyone should do if they're a content creator, is make sure, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't rely on YouTube to hold on to your content for you.
Right.
It's a bad idea. Yeah, this, and it goes on even more. Every single time I hear more, I get more information emailed me about what this woman is doing. And a lot of people are saying, you Google her, it's a he. Just so we're clear, I've been informed by everyone, even the developers have referred to her as she. So, I've been very strongly led to believe that she is in fact trans. So that is why the she and her reference. Okay. So just so we're clear on that, because a lot of people are every single time something that might be a mistake now, I get probably about 300 comments or more on it.
Well, welcome. Yeah, welcome to it.
I just want to say, yes, I know.
I recorded an entire audio about this, and then I went back and I was like, I had to clarify something, and I watched your video, and you referenced her as a she. I was like, oh, fuck. Killed the whole thing, because I know as soon as I say it, I'm going to have 100 people up my ass about it.
Yep, that's fine. I actually posted a video the other night where I incorrectly credited the person who exposed the CSGO gambling scandal, and then I realized, oops, right after I uploaded the video. So I included it in the description, prominently displayed the proper credit, because YouTube doesn't allow annotations anymore. And I still received over 100 comments of people saying, wasn't it these guys?
No.
So I just had a copy paste.
Right.
Yeah, as you will see, approximately 5 minutes after the video was posted, I updated the descriptions to properly cite the person who actually did make the discovery. Thank you.
I think the other day, the other day I had someone get super angry in the comments because I said I could care less instead of I couldn't care less.
Oh, yeah.
So that was fun.
Yep.
That drives me nuts,
the difference,
too.
By the way, I was just in the middle of my sentence, and then I noticed that when I said it, but I didn't want to go back and correct myself because I lose my train of thought, because sometimes when people say things, they mess up, or they say something that they should correct, but it's not worth going back to because it doesn't edit what the meaning of your sentence is.
No, it's fine. And for the most part, I actually appreciate people doing that, because, I hate the idea of making, say, like a large blunder, or if I happen to improperly cite someone and give someone else credit to where the credit is due somewhere else.
Right. When it's like that, yeah, that makes sense. When it's I could care less versus I couldn't care. Okay, now you're just nitpicking to be an asshole. Okay, I get it. When you improperly cite something, yeah,
some people
sure.
like doing that, though. Some people, that's their jam. They enjoy that. More power to them. Just don't expect a resounding thank you for properly correcting my grammar on that one sentence in that 15-minute long video.
Oh, yeah. And won't leave another comment based on the content of the video. No, it's just this now. That's what I'm focused on.
No, I've released apology videos before when it warranted an apology or a clarification. But I'm not going to redo an entire video for one word.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I could care more.
So, with this situation, where are we? What are we currently waiting on now?
Right now, basically, it's essentially at a holding process now. I mean, she's probably going to continue to do insane things, and will properly document and hold on to those insane things. See, I did it already. And until these DMCA strikes are cleared and people can make a decision on their own about what they want to do about it, if they want to go after her or not, which is entirely their decision. But I would urge them to actually do it, because no YouTuber has ever had a more prime opportunity to set an example than this. And this is the sort of thing where she has, for these people that she has affected, she has abused their channels. And what she has done is wrong.
Extortion, blackmail.
It's not actually blackmail.
Extortion, more or less, but
it is basically extortion, because she was attempting to direct people to the developers of the game to have the DMCA strike cleared, even though she's the one that issued the strike.
Right.
The developers have nothing to do with that. All she was doing was trying to apply pressure on them. It's horrible. So, yeah, she is victimizing these YouTube channels and these Twitch streamers, and they should absolutely do something about it. But all of that will have to wait until the DMCA strikes are cleared. We'll see if Total Biscuit has any headway in trying to expedite that. If not, it'll be about 3 weeks. And the Turner Broadcasting cease and desist, that could be months, because they, as with any giant megacorp, they'll either flat out ignore it as being completely and utterly ridiculous, or it will be a slow-moving juggernaut that will eventually steamroll her, that will be months and months down the road.
Exciting times. Bribery? I don't think was there any bribery involved? I don't believe so.
No, there was. I know there's rumors going around that she was no bribery, but I know there were a few rumors going around that she was offering to have the DMCA strikes removed for like $10,000 or something like that.
Oh, shut
That's
up.
false. That's false.
Oh, okay.
People reported that it was Sir Tap Tap that she had offered that to. Sir Tap. He clarified that with me that no, she was saying that the developers owed her $10,000.
Oh, okay.
So just so we're all clear, it's not true. Didn't happen. And yeah, one thing that a lot of people can do if they really want to help out with this, don't communicate with her. Don't. I've seen a lot of people. Of course, she's going to get an avalanche of hate her way. I actually had someone email me today, either accidentally or on purpose, I'm unsure, with the most horrendous statements I've seen when it comes to situations like this, where they basically said that she deserves everything she got. She deserved to be raped and everything else under the sun. And so I posted on Twitter and Facebook and Reddit and everywhere else that this is not okay. Doing that sort of thing is not okay. And if you are a follower of my channel and you're willing to do that, go follow someone else. Okay?
Right.
And I sent that response to them as well, that will never be acceptable under any circumstances ever. And not only that, it will give her a platform to be able to elevate herself to the point of having the moral high ground. And that's very much not something you want to allow someone like that to have.
Right. Well, and then, I mean, if she were to take that, if it did reach her, go public, and she knows that person is, a viewer of yours, a viewer of, TB's, whoever.
Yeah,
now she can turn the hate around and say, play victim.
Guilt by association as well.
Yep, exactly. Oh, yeah. Trust me. I know that.
Yeah, you've been going through some stuff recently too, haven't you?
Yeah, just fucking exactly like that. Guilt by association, because you have some community members who overstep boundaries, and then you're tied into it. So that's a problem,
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, that's this is basically a whole new world I've stepped into, is actually having some form of responsibility due to my channel, which it's insanely growing. Oh my God. Thank you guys. First off, that's impressive. Go. It's just straight up impressive. I mean, the sheer amount of people we had watching here, I was expecting a third as many, maybe, if that. So thank you so much.
This is without our guest too, that has like
almost a 250,000 subscribers. Yeah, he's here in spirit though, with his crazy eyes.
He just messaged me. That was weird timing.
Did he?
Yeah, but go ahead. I'll read this in private.
Okay. Now, those. See, I wanted to get like a Yosemite Sam mustache on there or something, but I just didn't have the time. Yeah, I thank you, Mad Martin. for saying that. Yeah, this is this sort of thing. It's extremely draining for content creators like us to have to deal with situations like these, even if we're not directly involved, if we're not the ones under fire from people like Alex Maurer, because we have to, we have to wrangle the troops. We have to keep up on social media. We have to keep our fingers on the pulse of what's going on to be able to inform anyone else. And even if, this has caused a lot more time and effort, even on IamPattyJack's and Total Biscuits and Jim Sterling's and countless other people in regards to this as well, trying to pitch in and help out like we have. And it's actually a fantastic thing to see, because it was very much a circling of the wagons. I've reached out to countless YouTubers in the past about situations, and I have never seen such a widely open, free-flowing sharing of communication and information between people as I have seen in the past few days.
It's because it's threatening the YouTuber and the YouTuber industry, right?
It's fantastic, though. And that's the sort of thing that we need when we have situations like that, to be able to freely share so everyone's communities are fully up to date on what's going on. So any YouTubers who have been affected, who might be affected, get informed by proxy of what's actually going on and what they can do to help protect themselves. Wow, I soapboxed quite a bit there, didn't I?
That was good. It was good. Good content.
Excellent. Well, I don't know. Are there any? We're actually coming up on our 2 hour time mark here. Do we want to keep going, or do we want to just go ahead and wrap it?
Quick question before we do: are there breaks in this podcast?
No.
No, okay.
You don't get breaks. It's a
I didn't know.
2 hour podcast.
We never went over this. I didn't know.
It's a 2 hour podcast. I'll tell you what.
Have we been going for 2 hours?
Yeah, we have. Well, really, we've been going for an hour and a half because delays and everything like that.
I was wondering, because my lighting is super red, and I'm very aware of that, everyone. But it looks fine on our Zoom thing.
Yeah, for some reason there's an odd color shift that's going on.
Yeah, it's weird. You're really red and I'm way more pale.
Redder. It's just my room's darker, so it looks worse on mine.
I don't know. I think I might need an OBS expert to help me figure out why there is a color shift going on here. I wonder if it's because of the compression. I wonder if it's because it's outputting at a smaller frame rate or frame size than the original. Because right now you guys are on a 4K screen, and that's being compressed.
Yeah, because contrary to popular belief, my hair isn't black.
I don't know. I think it should be.
It's a dirty blonde.
Yeah, time flies. It's been interesting. Yeah, it's been almost 2 hours already, guys. So just imagine if we had 4 people, time would fly even quicker.
Right.
So, but yeah, for right now, the plan is basically a 2 hour podcast, because IamPattyJack is concerned about breaks. In the future, we'll do a break at the 1 hour mark.
You know what? Maybe you should just try to go over this with people beforehand.
If I was
just going to stay out of it.
If I was an experienced Twitch broadcaster, I probably would have done that.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we set this precedence then.
See, but this is very much, this is baby's first steps as far as a Twitch stream goes.
Baby's first podcast, I can dig it.
I think it went pretty well, though.
Yeah, considering everything under the sun went wrong, including a power outage.
Right, yeah. No, you did pretty good.
Oh, my God. All right, well, I think we'll probably just go ahead and wrap it up, because I'm sure I know I have to at least get back to it, because... yeah, that yard's not going to take care of itself. So yeah, any final thoughts? Any games you guys are interested in playing upcoming week or anything? Or
to be honest, I haven't even had my finger on the pulse with games coming out. I have no clue what's coming out.
Well, considering basically all of the games that were waiting to see if they could get through Greenlight got through Greenlight, and they're all posting right now. It's very hard to wade through things.
Triple X Tycoon is coming out. I'm really excited to play that.
You pick the the weirdest games.
Right?
Dude, it's a porn simulator. It has to be done. It has to.
No.
There was also Porno Tycoon, which I have a code for and I've yet to play.
Yes, I got a code for that as well. I'm not even touching
that
it.
one came out. But Triple X Tycoon is like a pixely art style and stuff, and it looks like it might actually not be awful.
No.
So I have to try it. I
No.
have to find out for myself.
No.
For everyone else.
No.
Yeah.
Although, no.
I have more Annie Kids games to play.
Oh my God, your taste in games is just so weird.
If they send me a code, I have the right to play it.
Yeah, that's
Annie Kids
fair, but
sending me codes, and I keep playing their terrible games, and they're making me more and more mad.
that's fair. But it definitely makes me worry about your mental state.
Did you watch my 1 hour video on My Boyfriend 2?
No, absolutely not.
Great. It is.
Good call.
I'm convinced in that game, the voice actors realized the game was terrible and they stopped voice acting for it. So they just put in random things that they'd already voice acted as answers to questions from the main characters and stuff. At 2 points in the game, the main character became a totally different person, like swapped genders. It's wonderful.
What?
I love that game. And because you're a teenager, you can go to bars, but you can't order alcohol in that game. So my character survived on milk and apples for like 3 days.
Oh my God.
He becomes a guy when he thanks people for buying when they give her milk.
Milk and apples for 3 days.
I have no idea I have
I have no idea what's going on.
right now.
So all the mini games are the same mini game.
This is in that brother. What game is this? What are we talking about?
It's okay. Hold on. It's got a really long, stupid name for no reason. Under M. Where the hell is M?
Assassin's Creed. No.
Oh,
Right.
it's called My Boyfriend. He Loves Me. He Loves Me Not. So they have on Steam. It's by a company called Annie Kids, which is a German company that I'm convinced is a tax write-off company for a software development company. So like any unused funds they have at the end of the year, they just make these terrible games.
That sounds great.
And I've got three of their games so far, and I'm seeing if they give me more codes. Also got My Vet Practice and My Vet Practice Marine Patrol.
Oh, it's the same company?
Yep.
Okay, you're digging a hole here. Eventually they're going to look at you as the poster child.
Yep.
I'm fine with that. I'm so fine with that.
Oh, I see what he's doing here. He's shooting for a sponsorship.
Oh.
He's going to become the YouTube face for their games.
Annie Kids, I will voice act for your game. I won't leave it. I won't leave voice acting. I won't stop no matter how bad your game is. I'll keep going the whole way. Whole 9 yards. Whole 2 hours of content in your games. I'll do it all.
That's horrifying.
Opportunist.
Well, that's perfectly fine. Every group has a blatant opportunist. I think, like Total Biscuit and Jesse Cox, they have Crendor. So
Right. Yeah.
I throw Jesse in that half the time as well.
That's true. I mean, he did decide to do his own convention, which is actually kind of awesome.
Mm-hmm. In response to the person that says my discovery queue must be weird, I don't have a whole lot of anime in there, contrary to popular belief. None of the Annie Kids games are anime. They're like animal kids games that are terrible for kids. So I get a lot of kids games instead. Differences. My Boyfriend 2 is like a 12+ rated game. I ain't got time for the waifus.
See, there's no point to play a game like that without the waifus. There just isn't.
But that's why I play them, because I want to see what the point is, and there never is a point.
Oh my god. You know there's never going to be a point, so why even bother?
I'm a masochist.
Apparently. I don't know.
Fry their hands on the stove. I just play terrible games.
When are we going to get SidCon? Probably never.
Oh, that's a good name, though.
I'm having a hard enough time wrapping my head around full-time day job, being a father, and actually having a large enough subscriber base that I have to take care of it. It's like a plant. It starts growing to a point where you actually have to start maintaining it after a while. It's a really bad example, but
you're all plants to us.
You're not weeds, though. No, you're all flowers. You're all pretty princesses. Yes, I just said that. Big Fry, what do you got going on this week? Anything?
Honestly, I'm going to be streaming, and I'm literally just going to be playing more GTA. I don't know when this kick is going to end, but I have nothing else planned except to play more.
Hey,
I'm addicted. I think
that's perfectly fair. You know, it's a business for us, but if you're not going to have fun doing it, then what's the point? You know,
exactly.
No, that's perfectly fine. Hopefully my schedule will calm down enough this week I can actually watch some of these, because I've been sorely tempted each and every time. It's like, oh, he's streaming. My hand starts hovering over the keyboard. Like, I can't. I have to focus.
Yep, that's the life.
That's okay. I'll catch the VODs afterwards, though.
Oh yeah. 5 hours of me playing a shirtless vigilante. Yep, perfect.
Yo, how have I been missing this?
It's perfect.
Got me interested now, man.
Oh, it's so fun.
Yeah, definitely. Check it out. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here, because we're basically just rambling and meandering at this point. I think we've covered most of the topics that we wanted to. Yes, I did see the announcement from the Paradox CEO. Don't worry. Video about that is coming. I had to put it off for more important stuff. So what I've got going on this week is basically more of the same. I have to do follow-up videos for all of these controversies that sprung up, because they're being left unhandled at the moment. And I did promise videos on those, so videos you will have. Also, I'm going to be playing a lot more smaller games. I'm going to try and get back to actually doing some reviews this week, if at all possible. And
that's not going to happen.
I want to get at least one, because, at least on my outro template, there's a screen for more reviews, and it's been the MechWarrior or the BattleTech beta for about half a month now. It's been way too long. So I'm going to be keeping on doing that, and I'm also going to try and line up a guest for next week's show that hopefully will actually show up.
Boom.
That'll be fantastic. Yes, shots fired there, Blue Drake 42. Looking at you, crazy eye. No, it's fine. Like I said, I don't want to bash on him, because I don't know what the circumstances are. It's totally all right. He could have also just decided, they're not big enough.
We're not.
That could be a thing. We're not. We're really not.
Just straight up.
I mean, the three of us put together don't even equal half of his subscriber base.
Right.
So, how many hours of sleep do I have planned this week? At least 4. At least 4. I think I have an hour and 45 minutes scheduled for Tuesday night, and we'll see if we can fit in any more. So, in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. This has been Procedurally Opinionated.
Wait, do I not get to do mine?
Oh! No, you talked about horrible games for way too long.
Right.
No, go ahead. Pimp your channel.
Yo.
The shameless shilling.
Okay, because now I'm allowed to. That's good to know. Thanks. I feel so loved.
Well, my estimation of you just dropped drastically the more you talked about those games.
So, on my channel, you can look forward to more Kids games, because I've got a code for My Vet Practice 2 Marine Patrol.
Yes.
It's a My Vet Practice game, but it's got like seals and stuff in it. So I really want to play that. We're going to see how that goes. Aside from that, I'm doing a Skyrim series right now. It's like a zombie survival thing where I just dick around in Skyrim and there's zombies. So that's fun. Other than that, I don't know what the hell I do on my channel. I have to wait until things happen. Then I just do random ass stuff. That's it. Find my channel at IamPattyJack. Twitter, IamPattyJack. Done. Is that good enough for you?
I'm pretty good.
No.
Pretty aggressive at the end, but
you got aggressive, so you got to know. That's it.
Right.
No.
Don't ignore me, man. That's all I'm asking for.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Procedurally Opinionated. I do apologize for the lateness. Hopefully we'll be able to start on time next week, assuming we don't have to deal with power outages and guests that don't arrive. So thank you so much for watching. Please do stay tuned on my YouTube channel. And if you did happen to miss this, the VOD will be here on Twitch. It will be on YouTube. We're going to be uploading it to SoundCloud. And I will work on getting these set up for iTunes later this week. Thanks again for watching, ladies and gentlemen. I am SidAlpha, and I'll see you next time.
I'm so glad I could hear that live.